Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our state legislative review. On October 25th, 2021, we reviewed a draft of the 2022 state legislative priorities provided by the Office of Intergovernmental Relations, and we discussed potential edits and additions to the list. And today we plan on voting on those priorities. I'll just remind everybody, it's obviously it's November, not January, and it's not March. Our list is a work in progress. Our bills are being written and sponsored right now by our terrific state legislators. So today's document is just a framework. It's subject to change. There's plenty of time to add additional bills and capital projects to it. The county's list of priorities is due to the state delegation on November 15th, 2021. So I think we should meet that deadline, but that's all subject to additions in the future as well. So without, if that is all reasonable to everybody, I'll turn it over to Ms. McCartney-Green, and I imagine Ms. Wenger is here as well. Ludine?
Yeah, good afternoon, Council President, and good afternoon to the council members. I do believe Ms. Melanie Wenger may be out today for other reasons, but Kathleen, I think you're here to help fill in as well.
Hi, Kathleen Boucher. I can't tell from the controls here whether you can hear me, Ludine.
I can.
You sound great.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, everyone. I also don't know if I'm on video, but I'll defer to you all.
You're on video.
Okay, there you go.
Hi, Leslie. Welcome.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yes, I think as most folks know, Melanie has a very important family matter and is back in Kansas. But we do have Sarah Morningstar and Leslie Fry and myself on board. And I don't know if folks know that Amy Saman recently received a wonderful job opportunity and is now, as of today, working for the Alcohol and Beverage Services Department as a new manager over there. But we look forward to this discussion today.
Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate the update. With that, as Council President mentioned, we had our first initial meeting on October 25th. And before we actually get into the state priorities, I did want to kind of follow back up in 2 points of discussions that came up. The first one was to kind of just broadly or briefly talk about our processes. One of the conversation or questions that came up is, what are we using as a guidance to look at state legislation, and what is the council doing, whether or not to take a position on a pending state bill? And so in your packet, under part 1, briefly mentions about 5 different points of whether or not the council will take a position on a state bill. And this is briefly or largely in part of discussions that the council members had back in 2019. And so looking at the packet under Roman numeral 1, here are the 5 points of issues where the council would look at to decide whether or not to take a position. So the first one is it a by-county or local bill? 2, does the bill relate to the council's state priorities? 3, the bill has significant fiscal implications. 4, the bill impedes the county's authority. Or 5 or more council members agree that the council should take a position on the bill. So I kind of want to just review that to make sure that council members were aware of the procedure that we'll be using or the guidance that we're using on whether or not to take a position on a state bill. The second thing that came up during our October 25th meeting was looking at how can the council staff be more proactive and strategic concerning pending legislation. And so in response to that, we were looking at what are the steps that we could take. And so we want to be able to improve our coordination and communications with the council committees by trying to maintain an ongoing list of potential state legislative initiatives. And so council staff plans to identify those, keep a list, and work closely with OIR analysis, council analysis, and executive departments as well. And so really the approach here was to be more in tune, really, and to be more hand in hand on working on implementing a stronger, cohesive communication. One of the things that we highlighted after just discussion among staff was when have we done this? And so we had a committee meeting. HHS and ENC had a committee work session on September 23rd, talking about increasing diversity and cultural competency in mental health professions. And so that conversation, out of that drew more discussion from OIR and council staff to talk about what legislation would be needed to support those credentials for mental health professionals from other countries. And so that's one example of how the broadening of our communication and coordination is happening. So I wanted to just follow back up with the council to make sure we're aware of us being more proactive and strategic in our approach this coming legislative year. With that, I'm ready to jump into state legislative priorities, but just didn't know if there was any discussion or questions about those two things.
I thank you for flagging that. I think that's terrific. We're making improvements in our process. I don't see any requests from colleagues, so I think you can jump in.
Okay, awesome.
Well,
Thank you. Councilmember Novato.
I just want to thank Ms. McCartney-Green for spelling that out. As you noted, this is something that we had actually established in 2019, but had not been consistently implemented. And so I think this will be a really great step forward and will be very helpful as we work on all of these issues. So thank you very much for putting that in writing and reminding everybody that this is how we will proceed.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm turning to our part of our packet, and this is the proposed 2022 state legislative priorities. I thank Council President for reminding all that this is a working draft, and that although we're expected, the purpose of meeting is for the council to take a vote on these priorities. It is subject to change and capital improvement projects that may come between now and the 15th. So with that, I know we reviewed each state legislative initiative, but I wanted to just go back and highlight just the red line changes that were made and additional comments that the council members had requested. So our first priority was the COVID-19 relief and economic resilience. And this was very broad in supporting relief and resilience programs to address and enhance the county goals. I'm going to stop here and just ask if OIR had any comments concerning anything from the governor's plan or anything from the COVID-19. Otherwise than that, nothing here has changed, and this is still consistent with what we presented on the October 25th meeting.
Thank you. No comments at this stage, but if there were follow-up questions that that remained unaddressed, I know we'd be happy to move on that.
And so if there's nothing there, like I said, I know this is just very broad in nature. If there are no objections here, and Council President, I should have just asked, do we want to vote on these individually, or do we just want to take a vote towards the end?
Unless there's an objection, I think we should just take a vote toward the end.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, we can continue to add individual bills to this in the future and flesh this out, but I think it'll be more efficient just to vote on the whole framework today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and our second priority was surrounding fiscal health and economic development. And this was also broad in nature in terms of ensuring the state budget respects that nexus, but also very specific concerning strengthening some of the priorities concerning WorkSource Montgomery and the Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, and specifically the Senate Bill 199, House Bill 114, Transit Safety and Investment Act. Really here, this is just same thing as our first initial meeting, but also supporting a higher allocation of the federal 9% low-income housing tax credits. There were no objections in our last meeting, so I presume that the council is still on board with the same initiative, unless OIR had any additions to be made here.
No, thank you. We appreciate working with you on the language that you added.
Okay. Great, moving along. So transportation. This was also one of our also broader goals as well, but that we received from the county executive was ensuring a fair and equitable allocation to the county of anticipated historic increases in federal transportation funding that will flow from states, and supporting enhanced collaboration with state and federal partners to develop and implement a modern transportation system to address the region's current and future needs. Here to note that there was some discussion about the P3s, the public-private partnerships. Council staff has removed that language, And so that language reads without that. And just wanted to make sure that that was still okay. And the other priorities are still consistent from our original meeting.
Colleagues, any comments? I'll just chime in as the opinionated chair here on the future of the Purple Line. I know this has no like legal authority, but I think our point of view has been consistently the future of the Purple Line without any additional local contribution, which has come up repeatedly. We support the Corridor Cities Transitway, and that's been, as per our priorities letter, our top priority. But we also support 5 other transit projects in Montgomery County, including extension of the Purple Line, the Red Line, the MARC, the additional rail for MARC, and the BRT. And in light of the passage of the federal infrastructure bill, those are all, especially relevant and may need enabling legislation at the state level. And well, I think that's it. I think this is all, fine, but that elaboration might be helpful, particularly in light of what happened over the weekend. Councilmember Katz.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I too agree with what you said, but I too am supportive of the Corridor City Transitway, though I do believe that we should look at, or that it should be looked at again for what is the alignment of it. The state, I mean, it's gone back and forth, but the state has said, well, we've spent so much on it at this point, this should be, where we should end up. The reality is we haven't built it, and if we're building it in the wrong place, it's worse than the money that they've spent. And so I do believe that when they first looked at the Corridor Cities Transitway, Shady Grove Road was not being built out to the degree that it's built out now. And for them to run it through King Farm, which the city of Rockville, as far as I know, has not changed their opinion on it, has great concerns about that alignment, then why would we do it there? So anyhow, I do believe they should relook at the alignment itself.
That's President.
Thank you. Councilmember Reamer.
Could I just suggest that we add maybe their BRT on Route 355? I think that what we write here is not determinative of funding that will come to the county. I mean, all of this is sort of to plant a flag,
right? And
it's not determinative, but I think there is a ongoing strategy conversation about, a major up-county transit project. And I know we've been working hard as a county on 355 North BRT and 355 South, and, it in some ways serves a similar purpose. So perhaps we could add their supporting the Corridor Cities Transitway project and BRT on bus rapid transit on Route 355. Councilmember Katz's comments, are noted. I don't know that we have to get into anything about alignments, in a document like this. But suffice to say, we're already moving forward on building transit strategy for a portion of where that alignment is presently planned that, causes some to rethink the alignment that we have. So, I don't know that we have to get into it now, but noted.
Councilmember Katz, do you have any? Is that fine?
Well, no, I don't disagree with what Councilmember Ringer just said. However, in dealing with the state, as we all have done, there's times that they say, well, you didn't mention it to me. You mentioned it 50 other times, but it's because you didn't mention it in one document, they said, well, you didn't mention it. Well, at this point, and I agree, we're not going to come up with the alignment, but I do believe that there should be a note that they should be concerned about the alignment, or we're concerned about, however it should be worded, but we should note it so that they're aware of the concerns that have been should be addressed.
Kathleen, could we just include something about supporting CCT according to the locally preferred alignment and consistent with our commitment to BRT along 355 from Bethesda to Clarksburg.
Yes, of course.
Well, if I could, Mr. Council President, I think the challenge is Mr. Katz is suggesting an alternative to the locally preferred alignment. And
Yes.
so, we as a county body, county council would need to designate an alternative locally preferred alignment in order, I think, and I don't think we should take a position.
How about in consultation with?
Well, I just don't think this is the venue to reconsider the locally preferred alignment. Noting Council Member Katz, I think we should all note some objections that have been raised, but we would have to do a whole nother different contextual conversation to arrive at a different position as a body as to what is the locally preferred alignment. And I don't think we should qualify that recommendation, until we've done such a conversation. But Dr. Erlin's here, perhaps he
can. Dr. Erlin.
Yeah, could I just add, I'm sure you know, the Corridor Forward plan is moving forward to Park and Planning, and they've sent a public hearing draft already, which includes in that pieces of the Core Cities Transway, but on a different alignment. It does not go through the King Farm. That doesn't mean the council, has made a decision yet. Of course you haven't, but you could say something like we're reevaluating the alignment of the CCT. Just leave it at that, rather than just, support it, but we're reevaluating the alignment of it, which is true.
Sure. Work with Ms. Boucher on the language, right? Okay.
Right. And just in terms of what Mr. Reamer said earlier about 355 BRT, in the last priorities letter, actually what was even higher priority was the Viersville Road BRT. So I'm just wondering whether you could include both Viersville Road as well as 355 in that comment.
I was going to suggest including the whole, because it's not mentioned here, the whole BRT program, all four corridors. Councilmember Glass.
I'm glad Dr. Erlin spoke before me because he articulated every point from the BRT to the agreeing with Councilmember Katz about the realignment, but I think Dr. Erlin put it correctly for the letter. Thank you.
Okay. Kathleen, you feel like we're good?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hooker. I will work with Dr. Orlin, and I'll also just touch base with him about the fact that we do have a transportation priorities letter that we have sent to the state. It was last dated May of 2020, so I'm looking at it right now. But happy to work with Dr. Orlin. And typically we always post the transportation letter with our priorities. Happy to work with Dr. Orlin and look forward to sorting it out.
I'm in the minority, but I'm in favor of updating those annually. Dr. Orlin, are we going to update that before the CIP year for 2021?
Whatever the council's wishes.
I thought you'd say that. Okay, good. I think we should. We're in a dynamic environment. So Kathleen will get you an updated priorities letter, and
well, it might take a while because it takes.
I know
there's a process, right? But yes, we will certainly work on it. And in terms of transportation priorities, remember 2 days from now we're having the road show, and so Mr. Hooker will be testifying there and presenting these priorities there as well.
I wouldn't miss it. Okay, you're good. Kathleen's good. Councilmember Friedson.
Yeah, just a couple things quickly. I agree on the transportation priorities letter. We're in a new environment now, particularly with infrastructure coming in. So I think updating that in real time makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that we're moving in that direction, Mr. President. And just on the 355 BRT Veers Mill, there is a mention here below purple line, just to be clear, about the administrative cooperation for implementation of the county's bus rapid transit system. I think there we either could include, including Veers Mill and 355 BRT, since those are the priorities specifically listed in the transportation priorities letter. So, I throw that out there. If we're just going to keep it broad, it seems to me it's already in there. So I'm not really sure, what we would be including. So I just wanted to clarify that. So I'd be fine either adding those two specific projects consistent with the transportation priority letter, since they're further along than some of the other parts of the network, and we're actively soliciting support from the state and potentially the federal government on those projects potentially, or just keeping it broad. I just wanted to clarify what we were thinking there.
Ms. Boucher, Dr. Orlin.
Yeah, No, thank you. I mean, what I feel like you're providing is direction for me to work with Dr. Orland to, for our office, to work with Dr. Orland to finalize some language on these priorities, but it's also acknowledging that we do have a May 2020 transportation priorities letter in kind of working with those two components. Am I hearing things correctly?
Yeah, I think we're okay, Kathleen. I mean, the things that the council members are saying are all consistent with that letter. And then we also now got the charge to redo the letter. But what Mr. Friedson's saying makes sense. Well, let's wordsmith it and bring it back to the council members.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be back here. Thanks, Councilmember Friedson. Yeah, we look forward to your edits. Terrific. Okay, anybody else? Okay, I think we can move on from transportation to education.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so our next priority is on education, to continue implementing the blueprint for Maryland's future. And that has two larger bullet points: the state's commitment to early childhood education, high quality, diverse teachers, leaders, and college and career pathways, resources for students, and governance and accountability, and ensuring a fair and equitable allocation of funding to support the students and families served by the county school, including funding that helps address racial and social equities in learning exposed by COVID-19. I'm actually going to bring the council down to the last point. That's one that's highlighted: supporting increases in cultural and linguistically proficient and mental health and social emotional learning, staffing, and practices, and reducing unnecessary professional licensure barriers. This was definitely a point that was noted as a priority, and as we mentioned, also came up in a work session as well. And so the council staff has added that to the priority list, and we'll look for pending legislation that speaks to that matter. Didn't know if there were any other comments on education, or if that was specific enough, council.
Can you remind us, why is the blueprint mentioned here but not the build to learn?
That's a good question, because they actually are hand in hand. So I could see how both of those could.
And this includes capital budget.
It should be both.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yes, it is.
Hi, Essie.
Hi, I just would note that, and we certainly can highlight it more strongly, but there is a bullet that speaks about state financial participation in public school construction. But I think to your point, we could certainly strengthen that to reflect Build to Learn more specifically.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the chart. The box. Okay. Anyone else on this?
Mr. President, if I may, I just want to thank Ludine. This is exactly what we had in mind. This is incredibly important, incredibly timely, and so just want to say thank you.
Yes, and I would also just appreciate those thanks, and also just ask our staff internally, but also Ms. Boucher, your staff, if there is any, I think, do we have an identification of anyone who's willing to do this, and particularly on the licensure side? And we can have offline conversations, but I'm not aware of a bill. I just want to make sure we're moving. It's great to have it as a priority, but the actual nuts and bolts of getting someone to put this forward. So I just want to flag that for you as a very tangible next step.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. President, I just would note that council staff did include in the council memo a discussion of some of the coordination efforts between council staff and county executive staff, et cetera, that relate to this. And so it is ongoing. And as Councilmember Giwando indicated, there is no specific bill that we're aware of yet. But I know Leslie Fry, who's on the call, is working closely with other executive staff and council staff to explore options here.
Okay, great. Anything else on education? If not, we can move on to the draft priority.
Hey, Mr. President.
Yep, Councilmember Rice, I can't see you, so please.
No, sorry.
I know you're not shy.
Yeah, sorry about that. Just very quickly. When it comes to education, especially higher education, making sure the career pathway piece, especially for our priorities for mental health. I'm just not sure if that was there for mental health, as well as healthcare providers, teachers, all of those kinds of things. I'm not sure if that was somewhere and I just missed it, Ms. McGuire or Ladina. I'm just not sure if I didn't see it. But if it's not there, a mention of that would be incredibly important as well as we look to those pathways for those particular careers that we've identified as priorities for us as a county, that we're having a difficult time filling right now.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. So we did work on a statement about supporting increases in that staffing, but we could certainly elaborate on it to be more explicit about the pathways as you're referring. And I think that would also connect it more with the licensure issue that we were talking about.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, I want to emphasize that point. It was something that I wanted to also ask about. And also it tracks what we said earlier about our central office staff sort of connecting what we've been discussing in committees. So I think that elaborating a little bit on that would be really great, because we obviously have been very focused in identifying specifically those areas that we need and how it connects with our workforce development as well as our economic development goals. So really appreciate Councilmember Rice bringing that up because it was on my list. Thank you.
Very good. Kathleen, you can elaborate on the next document?
On which document, Mr. Hooker?
The next time we meet, but you can add additional detail here, right?
Yes, and I'll work with Ms. McGuire on that. And as indicated, Ms. Fry, we have been exploring what's happening at the state level. The Maryland Department of Labor has its own skilled immigrant task force.
Yes.
And we have 3 reps on that. And of course, there's a new Office of Immigrant Affairs that was created last year by the General Assembly, hasn't been funded by the governor. So yes, we are exploring with council staff and other executive staff what opportunities there are to try to get traction at the state level on some of these related issues. And we'll work with Ms. McGuire to figure out how to indicate the priority here in a more, I guess, in an enhanced way as you're requesting.
Right, and my colleague staff. Okay, great, terrific. Thank you. If everybody's good, we can probably move on to elections.
Elections, so supporting efforts to increase state funding in support of elections, including at minimum 50% or more of the cost of voting equipment and related systems as originally envisioned in 2001, when the state had created the uniform state voting system, and to ensure the appropriate local input is obtained before the State Board of Election makes procurement decisions that obligate county funds. One of the feedback that we got from our meeting was this to increase funding from the state. And so we went ahead and highlighted that there and made that change. With that being said, the second point is supporting measures to protect the constitutional right to vote and opposing efforts to reduce or impede that right. And so that was also added there as well as to support that initiative. There are no comments there, then we can move forward.
Opposing efforts to reduce or impede that right. Good. Anybody? Okay, I think we're good on elections.
Okay, our next priority is the environment. And council members expressed that in more detail was needed, and the potential details have been highlighted. And so I'll read the highlighted portion just so we can focus really on the changes that have happened since our last meeting. And so it talks about the opportunities would include funds for clean energy, improved transportation options, including support for electric vehicles, green bank funding, to assist with leveraging private financing, and funds to address energy efficiency in existing buildings. And so this is supporting the climate action plan that the county has set forward and looking for opportunity where funding would be instrumental. And so continuing in that same vein, the last sentence adds, additionally, state level support is needed for improved recycling requirements, extended producer responsibility and accountability for support for electric utilities and distributors for transition to clean energy sources. And so before this environment was very broad, and so those were the additional comments added to specifically narrowing on these certain goals.
Okay, anyone on this?
Looks good.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ludine. Sounds
Okay,
good.
so moving on with Health and Human Services, there were no changes that were made from our last meeting. This is still supporting a statewide plan to address the residential treatment center for beds for youth under the age of 18, to increase the number of beds and broaden the population of youth being able to serve that program, and accounting for the myriad reasons for these beds in short supply. And then the second part of this priority is supporting initiatives to mitigate eviction as a part of the COVID-19 economic recovery. And that's specifically referring to House Bill 729 and Senate Bill 530, really talking about the filing surcharge fees. And so this hasn't changed. And so if there's any other comments or additions or any objections to that, otherwise than that this is still be the priority.
I agree with this, but is the shortage limited to youth under age 18? I thought we had a shortage all around.
That's correct. The shortage is all around. It's most pronounced in children under the age of 18, but it is all around.
Don't we want to be in favor of supporting efforts to address the overall shortage while prioritizing those for kids under 18?
That makes sense. I see Leslie has her hand up.
Leslie, sorry. Please go ahead.
Sure. I would just like to offer that we limited the statement to youth beds. The county did receive a raise in our cap in the year for adult beds. Our cap was raised by 8. And so given that we have seen progress in that area recently, whereas other areas of the state did not receive increases in their caps, we decided to focus initially on the youth beds. Just as background.
Sure. Can't we be for an increase overall while prioritizing youth beds? As we mentioned, 8's not enough, right? To address the shortage of adult beds?
You're right that 8 does not meet the overall need, but it was progress. So yeah, if that's your direction.
I'm always a fan of asking for what we want and negotiating later. Councilmember Novato.
Thank you. I would agree with that point of saying overall, but then with the special emphasis on youth. In addition to that, though, I wonder if it would be useful for us to, again, mention the need for bilingual, culturally proficient, linguistically proficient mental health professionals in this HHS piece, as well as the issue around school nurses, just to reinforce that it's also a health and human services priority. We did have lengthy discussions as it related to schools, but no doubt that in general, this has been an issue for HHS writ large in the county. So would like to offer that we include the same language under our HHS priorities.
Kathleen, Leslie, any objection to that? Colleagues?
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
great.
I think that direction is clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else on HHS? Okay, we can move on to public safety.
Public safety, so monitoring implementation of the Maryland Police Accountability Act of 2021 and supporting the efforts to advance the police reform package that will address legal and operational challenges that rise to the surface as implementation continues to roll out at both the state and local levels. You know, the county council was recently briefed on the bill and had some background information. So this is something that we'll continue to monitor. In addition, second bullet point is just referring to how to reimagine how public health agencies and other social service resources can best support public safety functions, including spanning efforts to integrate behavioral health supports with law enforcement efforts. The one point that was actually added since our last meeting was, I think Councilmember Juando may have mentioned supporting legislation that generally prohibiting juveniles from being charged as adults. And so that was added to the priority list as well.
Okay. I don't see any objections. I think we're good.
Okay, moving on to the broadband accessibility and affordability. One of the main points, not only supporting state initiatives and enabling local initiatives, but also getting feedback from Councilmember Rice regarding the priorities of NACO, National Association of Counties, on their broadband task force findings. And so this report encompasses, or this priority list encompasses, looking at the task force report and make sure they're translated into local actions sensitive to local conditions, and we'll consider that as well. I think you're on mute.
Any comments on broadband? Does that sound good to everyone? Okay.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And thanks, Councilmember Rice, for NACO's analysis of the infrastructure bill. That was great. I think we're good on broadband. Cyber?
Okay. Cybersecurity, and so this is the same. There were no changes here, but supporting the funding for cybersecurity programs that will enhance the county's ability to address cybersecurity threats, and opposing the imposition of overly burdensome administrative requirements on local cybersecurity officials that divert resources from necessary cybersecurity efforts. So that will still stay in place. And lastly, ending with local authority, and this has been consistent with the county to retain the county's broad home rule authority to ensure that the county is not preempted from enacting or enforcing its own laws. And we have a couple of past examples where that there were some past restrictions, the public right-of-way, the small cell facilities, carry out back tax, and et cetera. One of the things, I'm kind of scrolling down to the last bullet point, the supporting overriding the veto of Senate Bill 133, House Bill 319. That's a local tax relief for working families act, which authorized local governments to impose the county income tax on a bracket basis to allow for greater progressivity in the county income tax systems. With that, there have been no additions or changes, and that has still been consistent from our last meeting.
Terrific. Yeah, no, I think all of us are still for local authority. I'm glad you flagged the excise tax on electronic smoking devices. That was a bill I had sponsored and was bringing in $2 million a year, and the state just took that away from us recently. And I know we're all still for greater progressivity in county income taxes as well, and the ability to have brackets. I think my colleagues, they look like they're all good on this. So we're all still for local authority.
And so the next step here, Council President, is for the council to adopt the priorities described above, with the caveat that one, this is subject to the county executive, and before it's finalized, there may be additions from the capital projects and any additional edits or additions. I'm not sure if Kathleen had anything about capital projects today, but I just wanted to know, obviously, that the deadline is still till November 15th, so we still have some changes that may come forth.
No, thank you. I know Ms. Wanger is working on that list and is gonna share it with council as soon as she can.
Great. All right. Thanks for all your hard work on this. Is there a motion to approve the state priorities list with the caveats there that, subject to the agreement of the county executive and majority of council members, we might add to the list before it's finalized both capital projects and additional edits regarding the operating budget?
So moved.
Councilmember Novato moves. Councilmember Glass seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that is unanimous. We have a state priorities list. Thank you, everybody. I think we're adjourned until next week. Thanks for